This is my hardcore world, a place I've been playing in and out of over the past couple months. But while preparing to record the next episode of Hardcore, I had a thought. In the case that I happen to die in this series, it might be worth showing off the seed I used before that actually happens. By the way, I am showing this on Bedrock, but pretty much everything I show will work for both editions. And with that out of the way, this is the spawn of the seed, located right on the edge of a mesa badlands and a mega ocean, as we can see right here, along with a huge jungle off in the distance right there. And literally from about 5 or 6 steps from where you spawn, you immediately get access to copper and gold. Now as you spawn in, you have obviously no way on getting the gold or the copper, but it's still cool that it's there. But something else that's really cool is these huge cave entrances located literally right next to spawn, right next to also a huge lush cave, as we can see. Okay, huge might be the wrong word, but still, lush cave is located literally right here, in a place that's honestly, for the most part, not too hard to get access to. Speaking of things that aren't hard to get access to, coral. And a lot of it, as we can see right here, because it goes on for quite a number of hundreds of blocks going off in this direction. It goes on for so long that the only thing that stops it is actual land, such as this mesa land and this jungle land. And looping back around from this jungle bamboo land, we can see we have more jungle, a much bigger, and okay, not much bigger, but a lot more mesa badlands right here, a desert, and at least on Bedrock, a village. And you've probably spotted it, but there's also this ruined portal, as we can see right here, and going through this ruined portal, you eventually get this type of another spawn, which sits you right here, right next to an actual crimson forest, another wasteland, and from the looks of things, a warp forest? No, that's warp forest, that's crimson. On Java at least, you'll get a soul sand valley for the most part, but at least for Bedrock edition, you get quite a amount of biomes you actually spawn inside of if you use that ruined portal. But say if you want to actually settle down in this one seed somewhere, maybe build a big old base or something like that, where would be the best place to go? Well, for me personally, I headed inland past this one jungle and the mesa from spawn, and heading across this huge body of water we could see just off in the distance over here, we get ourselves quite a decent amount of plains biome, and most of the plains biome is actually fairly flat for the most part, which means building anything on this terrain is actually fairly easy. But I will warn you that it's not entirely safe to necessarily build around here, especially if you're planning to build really high and really low, mainly because just over in this one cave area, if we head ourselves just down it, as far down as it could go, we can see that we have some skulk-infested caves, as it seems right here. Now, it's not really the biggest issue in the world, and unfortunately there is no ancient city in sight, but still, just be wary the fact that you do have some deep dark blocks nearby. Speaking of things to be wary about, there's actually quite a number of other types of biomes that's relatively close to spawn that isn't just a jungle or mesa, one of which being a mangrove swamp right here, which actually goes on for quite a decent while, which also links up to, you guessed it, another jungle, and as it turns out, a savanna plateau, along with just 6 floating blocks floating perilously way above the plateau for some reason. Now, I know Minecraft generation isn't the most realistic, but still, really weird. And you know how I said this mangrove swamp goes on for quite a decent distance? Well, I just reached the edge, and we are 1,400 blocks out in one direction, which does mean you're not going to be short of any mangrove swamp anytime soon. And speaking of not being short of things, jungles, they're literally everywhere on this one seed, even inside of mangrove swamps, because look at this, right in the center of the mangrove swamp, there's a jungle. I mean, seriously, you can't get away from these things. But heading off in this direction from the plains, if you think you'll be escaping the jungle biome, then think again, because just a few hundred blocks, There's another one. Fortunately, this one's at least really thin and really sparse, which means you can get yourself onto this one little grove, which means that there is obviously that chance of having, I don't know, more mountain biomes off in the distance, and more mountain biomes off in the distance can only mean one thing. That's right, lots and lots of snow. But also one other thing, having more deep dark biome, as well as actually having an ancient city inside this one. But honestly, even though there's a ton of different biomes and a ton of different structures on this one seed, there's no escaping the jungle biome. Speaking of things you're not going to escape, the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.